Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stone Face Reactions. Reacting to what are we on, 11? Episode 11, SDF Macross, First Contact. We have, Misa is her name, right?
Misa Hayase, yes.
Misa Hayase, currently without Vessel amongst the Centrati ship, because I don't think they got out last episode. When we
No.
have, Hikase, I'm just making up names now. Hikaru, um, and it was Genius.
Max,
Was Genius with them?
yeah,
He
yeah,
was.
Max, and the third guy, which I always forget his name.
Yeah,
It's
he's
a Kra something. Yeah, it's
Proto
a very
Vegeta.
weird name.
Look, I'm
Yeah.
only remembering the name I made up for him, which is
Mm.
a name that somebody else made up a long time ago. Actually, not even a long time ago. Dragon Ball came out when?
In the 90s?
No,
Yeah, I
70s,
don't know.
wasn't it?
No, 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 in
Dragon
the
Ball.
90s.
I'm talking about.
I don't. The original?
Yeah,
Hmm. I don't know. I don't remember. I've never been a big Dragon Ball fan myself.
1989. I
So
was way off still.
yeah, sacrilege.
No,
Yes, I
no, that
know.
was
I
Dragon Ball
wasn't.
Z. Sorry, I closed it when I realized. Sorry, the man just died. The least I can do is get this right. Dragon Ball came out. Why are you only telling me when Dragon Ball Z came out? Dragon Ball, the TV show, came out in. Be easier to read, please. 1986. I don't know. The manga must have come out before that, though.
Certainly.
I don't know if Macross was a manga before it was a show, was it?
No, no. It has manga as well, but no, it wasn't a manga before.
One of the
It was
few anime originals, huh?
yeah, pretty much. I think Gundam has novels and started as an anime show and also has manga, but didn't start as a manga, as I recall.
I don't think so. Yeah, because
No.
Tamino was getting his start with the other stuff. Like Tamino, I think I've said this before, or at least I put it out there. To my recollection, Tamino is the J. Michael Straczynski. I've never said his last name right ever. Is the J. Michael Straczynski of anime.
Yeah.
In that a lot of amazing shit that you've seen, he's had a hand in, or at least inspired by. Because like Voltaire 5, Tamino's work before then, which is again an element of the romance trilogy, which is five giant robots forming together to save the Earth.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean that's what I've put together. I don't know if you know JMS, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big
Uh,
fan of his work, especially Babylon 5.
or the real Ghostbusters. You might know that he
He
he was a writer of
he was in
that.
Real Good Buster. He wrote for He-Man and She-Ra.
Number
He
of
also wrote
Spider-Man
for
comics.
Mobile Comics and for Captain Future,
Yeah,
which
or
was
was it you mean
a
Captain
later
Power? Was it Captain Power?
Captain Power. Yeah, Captain Future is something completely different. Yeah,
Yeah,
Captain Power.
which I only saw a little bit of. I think maybe like two episodes.
Yeah, I think it only ran for a season and never got picked up for a
But yeah,
second
it was
season.
too much for children. it was
Yeah, well,
the it was the Lord Zed of its day.
it was meant to sell these toys, that would bounce back from the television, and you know, Mattel was big on it, but
Yeah, just he's just a prolific writer of a number of things that you would probably like if you saw it. That's to
Sense
the
Eight as
audience, of
well. Yeah.
course. I'm not talking to you directly there. You've seen it because you just described a
Yeah.
bunch of it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, where were we?
We were in First Contact, which is the episode today. Last episode, after the Centrali launched yet another attack to try to convince the Macross to surrender, and finally make radio contact and make a demand that they surrender. They damaged the main radar, long range radar of the Macross, and Misa Hayase suggests that they get a cat's eye AWACS ship to cover the area to make sure that because they've been detecting something out there between the rocks and the planetoids that got destroyed. So they go out and patrol. Vermilion Squadron, which is Hikaru and friends, are escorting them. They get, of course, into a fight, and they get captured by the Centrati, uh, which leads us to today's first contact.
Well, Misa
Today's
gets
episode.
captured by the Zentradi, and they just charge in
Try to,
after her like Independence
yeah,
Day style.
mhm. Even though she orders them off, but you
Well,
know,
we've never listened to her. which
exactly.
she pisses her off to no end, apparently.
Of course, I think you would if you were a superior officer and men. You're a woman who is a superior officer, and the men in under your command don't listen to you. So yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Uh you
Well,
were talking
it's
about.
what's her name's brother, sister.
Mhm,
Sorry, what's his name's sister was also going on
Claudia.
about are they ever going to stop cracking back at superiors?
Yeah, that's Claudia LaSalle. Uh, and we also got a communication the first time that the Macross gets to communicate with Earth, and basically Earth says, well, they seem to be following you, so keep up the good work,
Well, the thing that
keep
stuck out to
distracting
me,
them.
thing that stuck out to me there was the whole first half of their message was pointless. We can't tell you what we're gonna do to help you out because they might be listening. So listen to us tell you about how we can't tell you anything. It's like, why did you even talk to us?
I think it's well, first of all, to get to certify that they're alive, right? And second, because they disappeared. Remember, they took a chunk of Earth and sea and just left, so they didn't know where they were.
Which is, I
You
guess
know,
that's more hilarious because we've already covered that we could send a message to Earth, but we've chosen not to because we get intercepted, which means that Earth is now calling us without knowing that we're alive or not.
no, no, no. They call Earth first. Yeah, they broke radio communication because they said, okay, fine, this is not working. They broke communications, and then Earth answered back.
I
We
don't
don't
remember
hear
that
the
part.
we don't hear what they sent. I don't know. We don't have Captain Global with a mic talking, but they sent the message first. They broke radio silence. In part, I think because also they said that the enemy's jamming had ceased, and that's when they get the Centrati get the translation of human language, for them to send their own message.
So that was all last episode.
That was all last episode. It was a
Okay.
very, it was very jam packed with a lot of little
I
details. Yeah,
remember the incoming message. I don't remember any outgoing message. That's why I'm confused there
yeah. Hmm.
because it seemed like they were communicating back without any communication forwards. But then again, they were also describing what the Centrati fleet was doing, so it's entirely possible that somebody with a telescope is just figuring this stuff out.
Yeah. Um, And you talk about so Cincy, this next episode we're gonna watch. Again, I don't want to spoil anything, although previews spoil quite a bit.
Everyone
I,
says
I
that about
consider.
previews. I do not get spoiled by previews. As I've
Um,
always said, the previews are part of the show. They
mhm.
give you exactly as much information as they want you to see.
Oh well, doesn't mean it's a good preview though. Although these are not bad. But I considered Straczynski had a saying about certain episodes that sort of are game changers, and they call them wham episodes. And I think this is one of them.
So I'm also coming from Mushoku Tensei, which specifically labels some of their episodes turning points. So, like in Core 1, you have Turning Point 1, and in Core 2, there's an episode called Turning Point 2, when specifically everything changes. Like, after this episode, nothing's going to be the same. They call them turning points.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's that, but I think what's going to be revealed in this episode is hopefully explains a lot of what's going on. And we will get to see more about the Centrati because we already seen that like I said, we don't see any women with them. They seemed shocked when they saw women in bikinis and men and women together. Like
Called the
they
battle
even got
suits.
yeah, and they even got into a fist fight about it. It's like, no, it's a secret weapon. No, it's just I don't know what it is. And they even got a fist fight in front of the commander. Like he was like, "Are you done? Okay, get the hell out."
Though they confusingly, did not understand what puberty was.
Yeah, or their
I mean, I'm
feelings. Like,
jokingly calling it puberty, but it's like, it makes my heart beat fast. And it's like, have you had the talk yet, boy? I don't know what's going on here.
yeah, they seem to have alcohol for some reason.
Oh, right, because we mentioned booze. Why do they have booze before? Or something like that.
Yeah.
Again, I still also don't understand why the commander in chief here is wearing what appears to be. Look, I'm used to the colors of royalty, right? And he does have
Hmm.
purple. What do you call the ends of your sleeves?
Hmm.
And that is like the most royal color. But he's wearing what he should be serving in a tavern. I think I said.
Yeah.
Whereas the guys he's talking down to are wearing like full gold red. And it's like, I don't know who's making your uniforms.
I think they're supposed to be formal uniforms, aren't they? Because they were debriefing to the commander. I don't know. I mean, most of the uniforms seems to be like spacesuits or just regular green
Well, it's
suits
because we
they're
see
wearing.
mostly
Oh,
the guys who are getting ready for combat inside. I want to call it
yeah,
Juggernaut again, but it's not a Juggernaut.
yeah.
It's an Iron Ball.
Mhm.
No, it's a
Battle pot.
sure. I mean, Iron Ball Battle Pod. I feel like I'm in the area.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just mean the guys that aren't in suits. Like they've got the I don't know what you call it, like the V tail on the back of their outfits. But this guy is just wearing a brown tabard. I don't get it.
Yeah. And he can actually survive in space too, which is
Yes, well,
pretty
which is weird because nobody else can.
apparently.
Literally, well, I mean, we saw in the other Citrati like have their spacesuit broken. Like the guy, our weird new guy, the guy he shot. We saw the other guy land on the ground. His pod's broken open, and he's got this broken open part in his helmet, and he's
Yeah.
clearly dead.
Yeah.
So clearly, he could not survive the atmosphere of Mars. So let
Or
alone
the
space.
or the crash landing.
Sure, sure, he could have died to a number of things.
Yeah. None of
And
them which help. Yeah.
any other thoughts?
Nope. I'm waiting to see what our reaction together is to this episode.
Okay. All right, then let's say we get on into it. But before we, sorry, I am dying. But before we get started, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below to feed that algorithm. On top of all of that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered, uncensored, and uncut, as well as some more early access stuff, you can check it out over on the Patreon. Just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure. It's all to support the channel, just a little bit extra. It's a funny thing, when we were reacting to Gundam 00,
Mhm.
the source that I usually watch these from, not gonna name it, the source that I usually watch these from, actually cut out the opening.
Oh.
So we didn't even know until commenters were pointing it out. Hey, how come you guys aren't watching the full episode? I'm like, what are you talking about? We're not cutting anything out.
Mhm.
Because apparently the intro changed a couple of times and we didn't notice. I'm just gonna just kind of thrown that they didn't do the same thing for Macross. Again, not that it's not a good opening, not great, but it's not it's not that it's bad opening. It's just that
Yeah.
I think the first three or times you see it, you got it.
Yeah. Again, I think it's part of the intro is supposed, even though this is an ongoing story, which is interesting because that's in West, they do more episodic content. But the idea here is that if you come in episode whatever, you can pick up what's going on. Aliens, big bite, big battleship. Song tells you at least the
Sure.
who's important, who's not, right?
But I would also argue that if you were watching it every week, skipping the intro, you'd automatically know what episode you were on by just going past the intro versus having to watch the intro every time.
I mean, but would you skip if you're watching on regular TV?
No, that's what I'm saying. If they didn't show it, you'd automatically know what episode you were on. I guess more so than my issue is that it's at the same part on every episode, right? It's never,
Yeah.
we never get a pre-episode thing. Time to watch my character be a badass.
Atikati, that's his name, yeah.
Sorry, something happened to the animation. I feel like we ran out of budget there for a second. I just want to take this moment to point out, it's exactly as I said. They are more effective when they're not those giant ball things.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the Macross wrestling episode. Oh, what the fuck? You ever seen Running Man?
Yeah.
Yeah, literally that scene where he throws the fake version of him to that spike wall. I don't know why you thought that was gonna help. My
I mean,
dude
he
is a
tried to try.
badass. He's also proven to be good at both baseball and basketball.
Yeah.
大丈夫ですかお怪我は
お前たちと作りが違う。
さすが
これが敵艦のマイクロンか。
I appreciate that he took a full explosion to the face and then, like, did not reflexively crush the thing in his hand.
確かに女のようだな。
はい、電子分析の結果では間違いありません。しかも捕虜の体は骨格細胞遺伝子に至るまで我々のマイクローンとほとんど差はありません。
So they have miclones too.
いいことです。お、気がついたようですな。
Yeah.
Well, maybe they sent a miclone to the Mars base then. Answer your question from before.
食べられますよ
Probably.
I'm still eating here.
一条
It's an excuse they use even in this situation.
巨人たちに捕まっちゃったみたいですね
そう
They ran out of budget this episode, I feel like.
Yeah. The frames are pretty.
シェイが無茶な偵察をするからですよ
そんな
キャッツアイのパイロットは
This is a very sharp. When they turn to his face, a very sharp animation. But then she was like, you know.
小惑星の破片に当たって
宇宙空間を甘く見るからこうなるんですよ女はね軍人なんかやらずに
Oh, don't be an asshole. Come on.
歌でも歌ってる方がよっぽど可愛げがあっていいです
I don't know, he's going heavy into the misogyny territory.
私だっ
Yeah.
てそのくらいできます
それはそれは
あなたね
何か争い事をしているようだな。
はい、男と女が一つところに居合わせれば必ず災いが生じる。
I appreciate that they're watching them in captivity and they're like, this is a show I can understand.
災いか。そうかもしれんな。もうよい消せ。奴らを見ていると頭が痛くなってくる。
同感ですな。これはもはや我々だけで処理できる問題ではありません。
機関艦隊に連絡した方が良さそうだな。
ボドルザー閣下は慎重なお方です。できれば直接引き渡した方が得策かと。
Have you ever seen the show Land of the Giants?
大体あなたは
I think so.
私の
Yeah.
護衛が任務
The
でしょバトロイドの
astronauts crash land on a planet and everyone's giant.
力小隊長が務まるわね
Just reminds me of this. Except their giants are so much larger than these
化
giants.
け物なんだぜ
一体どうなってるのかしら
こっちが聞きたいですよ
いや、隊長の注意もご無事でしたか。
Oh, now he wonders what's happened.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's appropriately freaked out as much as they should be.
ろくな修理兵もいないのか
Unlike the apparently unlike this the Macross, which repairs everything by magic.
これは
That's what I was about to say.
マイクロビデオよ
You don't appreciate your miracle workers as much as you should.
体が大きいってのも良し悪しですね。
ビデオなんか撮ってもどうにもならないのに
まだ逃げ出せないって決まったわけじゃないでしょ
そうですよ、隊長。
空間転移座標算出完了。全ホールドシステム長距離転移準備完了。
目標、ボトル機関艦隊空域、ホールド航行を開始せよ。
ホールド航行してる
なんだって
The proper way as well.
Yeah.
I bet these people know where they're going.
ホールドした模様です
一隻だけか。位置は
XP128、YP175 早瀬中尉が偵察に向かった付近です
早瀬君からは依然連絡なしか。
はい護衛のバーミリオン招待も応答ありません
そうか。
I guess thankfully Max went into the ship,
やられたかな。
so we don't have to find
Otherwise-
out what happens when you're standing on a ship that folds.
応答がないということは。
通信機の故障かもしれないでしょうデビューまであと10日ねすごい若手になるなんて今度サインしてもらわなくちゃ
But how did you make the deal? The record company's back on Earth.
No, but I think they made a deal here with the MBS.
光は一緒じゃ
それが
Well, that's a pretty shit deal then. Where you know everybody, all the record people are back on Earth.
光のやつ戻ってこないんだ。
戻ってこないって？
偵察機の護衛に出たまま行方不明になってな。
そんな。
And just think, you stood him up on your last date.
やめて、もう聞きたくないわ。みんめ。
So I know it's an upsetting scene for her, but I appreciate the magic of Roy just teleported in between the other two girls.
Yeah, like, don't touch her.
Don't
Yeah.
worry, I've got you.
光る。
His ship is so fucked up, it looks like it's made of rocks.
さあな、巨人たちの星にでも行くのかな。
それにしても長いわね。1時間近くもフォールドしてるなんて。マクロスじゃ10日くらい経った頃かしら。
10日？
ええ。フォールド中は時間がゆっくり進むのよ。
10日か。民名さんのデビュー見られませんね。
What's neat?
ああ、民名のデビューか。
Folding incurs time dilation, kind of like transportation and Gunbuster.
Well, it is made up, so it doesn't really make sense. But, you know...
Well, I mean, it's faster than light travel, so it makes sense in a certain respect. It also implies that Minmay can age up to be about as old as Hikaru is now. Well, I mean, technically, could be if it was more than a 10-day difference between their ages.
冗談みたい。
冗談？
今度ゆっくり聞かせてあげるわね。
Oh. Private concert.
ずいぶんお忙しいようで。
ほんと、昼間もないくらい。
そうか、来週の日曜日休暇がもらえそうなんだけど、どこへも行けないかな。
残念でした。来週の日曜は私のデビューの日よ。
I mean, also, I think that she's being getting groomed to be a... What's it called? Not a pop star, but...
Idol.
Idol, yeah.
Just my thing is, we've already got a scene where she stood him up. I don't think we need to establish more that she stands him up.
結局、約束は果たせないってわけか。
Oh man, we're doing something even worse than that. It's from his perspective that he's letting her down, even though we've established that she's let him down 100 times over. Oh my god, it's a fleet that blocks out the stars. Again.
あれは局地戦か。いや、近寄れば相当な規模だ。
地球を丸ごと飲み込むくらいのね。
A space station.
Sometimes I don't feel like that's actually happening in the middle of the episode.
Now, this is definitely a bigger fleet.
I don't know. It's hard to tell how big the other fleet was. We have nothing to
If
measure
you're-
it against but itself.
Well, I mean, if your ship can just fly into this asteroid and there's, you know, layers upon layers of ships, yeah.
I mean, I get what
pretty
you're
big.
saying, but the other fleet was packed in so far into the distance that they were just like blobs of paint in the background, so.
Yeah.
Just say occupied. However that works.
It's like airplane, like an airplane bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you even have a fleet within the space station itself.
敵艦の女性マイクロンは体の大半を露出させた軍服を着用して奇妙な行動を行い、それを見てると何か胸
It's weird that you keep describing it, my dude.
がしました。その通りであります。
幻の反応兵器の存在。男と女が一つところに乗り込む戦艦。
Reaction weapon?
我々はよからぬものと接触したのかもしれんな。
よからぬ
Yeah. For some reason, they described that as the missiles before.
捕虜との会見、お前の
I think it's the main cannon.
会見室を用意せよ。
Right, right. But when they were getting missiles fired at them, they said they had reactionary weaponry, which is why I found it confusing because I said it was like reaction mass weapons, fuel propellant weapons.
まさかプロトカルチャーではあるまいな。
Sucks that the Watcher sided with the Centrati.
That would be a problem, yeah.
"私はゼントラーディ軍第118機関艦隊司令長官ボドルゾ。お前たちに尋ねたいことがある。
言葉がわかる。
どうなってんだ？
閣下、官能翻訳装置はうまく作動しているようです。
And that explains that.
お前たちはいつから観察軍と接触をしたんだ。
観察軍？
そんな軍隊ありましたっけ隊長？俺だって軍に入ったばっかりだから知らないよ。
Also, stop calling me leader.
軍に入る前は一体何をしていたんだ
It would suck in this position to be.
民間人だけど。
民間人
民間人とは何なんだ。
戦争に行かない人間のことだよ。
戦争をしない人間だと。
バカな。宇宙は戦いで満ち溢れ、戦いあるところにこそ命があるはずだ。
戦いあるところにこそ命がある。
どうやら質問を変える必要がありそうだが、貴様らの船に戦争をしない人間が本当にいるのか。そしてなぜ男と女が一緒にいられるのだ。
男と女が一緒にいて。
柿崎君、
Sounds like they've got all Ferengi.
これ以上質問に答えるつもりはありません。
ん？
Max, you are a genius and an idiot at the same time. With the soundtrack going in the background, I thought he was literally trying to whistle.
どうやらお前が指揮官か。お前たちは自分らの立場が分かっておらんようだ。我々にはお前たちの船や惑星を一瞬にして滅ぼすだけの戦力がある。見るがよい、あの星を。
Cool, but why? As a show of our power. I mean, sure, but
なんてこと。
we didn't live there. What does that mean to us?
惑星が今の星のようになっても良いのかな。
それは
どうした。
おかしいわ。これだけの力があるのに、なんで今までマクロスや地球を全面攻撃してこないのかしら。
Because there's something even they're afraid of.
民間人は実在するのか。そして男と女はどうして同じ船にいられるのだ。
民間人、男と女。私たちには彼らの持っていない何かがあるのかもしれない。
答えねばお前たちの船や惑星を滅ぼしてやる。
できるものならやってごらんなさい。
なんだと。
注意。
Call their bluff.
私に任せて。私たちにはあなた方も知らない特別な力があります。
注意。何しやがるんだ。
動くな。やらかいな。こんなひ弱なマイクロンが我々に逆らうとはな。なぜわざわざマイクロンになったのだ。
Becoming a microne.
となったわけを言わねば殺す。
やめろ。俺たちは生まれた時からこの体だ。
生まれた時から。
お前たちは一体どこから生まれるのだ。
母親に決まってるだろ。母親？女親のことだよ。
女から。お前たちは女から生まれたというのか。
一体どうやって。
どうやって。そんなことも知らないのかよ。
What the fuck are the Centrati?
子供ができるんだよ。
愛し合う。どうやるんだ。
キスしたり抱き合ったり。
それでマイクロンが生まれるというのか。そこの二人、キスというものをやってみろ。
冗談じゃない。男
Well,
同
we're
士で
men
できる
from
か
the
よ。
80s, so we'd rather not.
私がやります。
お前がよかろう。
Of course she will.
一条少尉、私にキスをして。これは敵の反応を見るチャンスなのよ。
だったら柿崎とでもしてくれよ。
Do you really want me to kiss him, or do you want me to fake kissing you and do something else instead?
そんなこと言っても。
早くしろ。
これは命令よ。早く。
分かったよ。
やります。
ごめんよ、民名。
Dude,
I mean,
stop being
Mimi's
so
not really-
fucking weird.
Yeah, stop being such an incel.
No, I was thinking of the episode of Babylon 5 where the ambassador has to have sex to seal the deal, and they fake
Yeah.
what sex is.
Yeah.
誰かこの者たちをさっさと連れ出せ。
At this point, I'm also thinking of that Futurama episode. Can humans breathe fire, or did we make that up? Here's my thing, Max. What are you gonna fucking do right now?
That's a big cell, though.
Well, yeah, it's probably for a giant. I'm just thinking, like, you get them, and then what? Run out into the fleet that's destroying a planet right now? What?
あの連中あんなに驚くなんて。
本当ね。星の一つや二つあっという間に壊せるくらいの力があるのにね。
あの時言ってたプロトカルチャーって一体何なんだろう。
わからないわ。マクロスに戻れてこのデータを分析できればね。
マクロスに戻れればか。
ただ分かってるのは彼らの世界には民間人はいないし、男と女は別々に暮らしていて子供も生まれないってことだけ。
女の子と一緒に暮らせないような世界で死にたくないもんですな、隊長。ああ。
今のは何だったのだ。
なぜあの程度のことを見ただけでこれほどのショックを受けるのでしょうか。
我々の眠って
I mean, the Admiral here has already mentioned I wasn't made that way, implying that they're all made.
この間の回電波の時と同じような気持ちがしたな。
あの時以上かもな。
戻るだかか。
なんだ。
プロトカルチャーとは一体何なんですか。
これから話すことを他言した場合は即刻消去刑に処する。よい。プロトカルチャーとは我々の遠い祖先のことだ。
祖先。
そう。プロトカルチャーの
Yeah, they look like birds, I hear.
マイクローンのサイズしかなく、男と女が共に暮らし、文化というものがあったと伝えられている。
文化。
そうだ。しかしそれがどのような世界であったかは、プロトカルチャーたちの残していた記録が失われたため詳しくはわからんのだ。
失われた。
I mean, you blew up planets for a joke, so.
艦隊はいつの間にか戦う力を失い。
Yeah, you could have destroyed your own records.
なぜです。
Records on a planet.
男と女が共に暮らす世界。
愛し合うとかいう行動にその秘密が隠されているとでも言うのでしょうか。
結局帰ってこないのね、ヒカル。
What a weird way to go with all this. Not complaining, mind you, it's just
さて、続きましては期待の新人が登場いたします。第1回マクロスコンテスト優勝に輝く我らがアイドル、林民明さん。歌はもちろんデビュー曲。私の彼はパイロットです。どうぞ。
so Hikaru is gonna miss the reveal of her feelings for him. Or one of the many, many pilots that may think that.
Okay. The camera says it loves her.
Yeah, classic anime. Also think this is the one thing you're not supposed to do as an idol, is reveal that you're in a relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, I think describes Hikaru.
Yeah.
And not a
Song
bad
goes
song.
is yeah, it's nice.
That's better than the theme song of the show. What are you talking about?
Damn.
ジェントラーディの機関艦隊で得た貴重な情報を味方に知らせるため脱走を企てた。しかし
It's also interesting that Hikaru never got to kiss Mingmei,
マクロスへ帰還できる望みはゼロに等しかった。
but got to kiss,
Old lady.
Yeah, the old
ビ
lady.
ッグエスケープ。
Get it? Because they're all giants. Not sure exactly how they're going to escape. I guess unless Max breaks them out and then somehow takes control of the ship to fold back to its previous location. Although I'm not sure how folding works exactly. Can you fold through a thing? Or do you need like a direct line of sight?
I don't know. That I really don't know how to remember. I think it's just, you need empty space.
It's the fact that it has travel time with it makes me believe that they're traveling through space. Like, through space. Not like point to point. Like space teleportation or anything.
Yeah.
Nah, not a bad episode. Clearly I'm going to have to go back through and rewatch it to figure out exactly the whole meaning between this love thing being some sort of backwards thing to their culture. By the way, I love the fact that what's proto-culture? And they literally say, we had a thing called culture. Like, they don't even need the proto part of the name anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously we got shown on the next time on, they come from cloning vats or something.
Yeah. And the myclone kind of thing.
Yeah. We weren't born to these giant bodies. I guess, made them ourselves. I'm not sure what the implication is there. But they still have myclones of themselves, which means that they can transfer back and forth. They're avatars, basically.
No, I think they're full size all the time, but they can transfer back to being small.
Yeah, so then they're reverse avatars then.
Yeah.
That, we go into avatars and we're big and blue, and now, except for these guys, they put themselves in tiny bodies, which is kind of funny. The thought here, do I say it or do I not say it? When I was a kid, I thought Japanese electronics were made so well because Japanese people had tiny hands. Right? So...
I mean, you were a kid, so...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it's safe to say, because I was a kid and was like... But I think the idea here being... The only reason I say that is because the idea here is that they could make more advanced stuff if they could micro-size themselves and to be able to better handle technologies that their giant mitts wouldn't be able to figure out.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they'd be stuck with, like, regular... I don't know. You understand what I'm saying? Because obviously I have the idea and it's at the cusp of my brain and I can't put it into words.
I mean, it being that big is not as efficient if you were much smaller.
Yeah, because they'd have giant size version of our normal technology versus the more advanced technology you'd be able to make if you could micro size everything down. Because like your electron ray tubes and everything would be the size of a giant because you would have no. Well, I don't know. I guess technically they could make a thing that could then operate on a smaller size that wouldn't have to be a clone at small size. Yeah. You could make a drone.
But I think one of the things that's interesting, people think of smaller microchips and stuff like that, things got smaller, but you're mentioning basically limits of the physical bodies, right? We can't have like cell phones that are this big because our faces, won't be able to read anything. So what's happened instead is that we packed more stuff into a regular size devices.
I don't know. I'm remembering the tattoo phone, if you remember that, where we start using our own blood to power a cell phone, and then you could like tap where the numbers are on your skin because it's tattooed to your body.
Yeah.
So, I mean, well, because you said we can't have cell phones like this, and my first thought was, well, I guess you could surgically implant a phone into your eardrum so that it vibrates exactly what it needs to do. And it's like, well, we already have the concept of blood fueling electronics. I'm just going off in a completely different direction, though.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying. But even still, if you make it bigger, something that would have to be small for them would be completely inefficient for us, because we could, in that space, we could put like 10 times, 100 times more technology that they could. Because
Yeah.
it has to be, even if it's in the body, it still has to conform to their body form and size.
You have to imagine how much resources these guys are wasting just building their ships at the size that they're at.
And you notice that they don't do a lot of. They actually mentioned also they don't do a lot of repair or maintenance, right? The ship has a bunch of holes, but
Max said that these repair crews must suck.
Yeah, but we don't actually see anything. They don't say, "Oh, repair crew to this or that." It's like, "Oh, there's a hole."
Well, I think I've mentioned like 100 times, or I've mentioned at least a dozen times now. God, these ships look old and broken. You know, because it looks like they have new ships, and then they have ships that have been through like 1,000 wars. Which, fair enough, maybe they have. I don't know. I can't imagine.
Timescale, yeah.
Well, not even the time scale. I can't imagine the galaxy, right? That these guys are clearly all about fighting, and they say the galaxy is full of conflict, which implies that they're fighting something. So, despite whatever size fleet that they have, one, they're afraid of something out there, and two, they're actively engaged in fighting something. So, despite whatever show of force they're putting on, the fact that they're both afraid and still fighting implies that whatever amount of force they're putting on is not enough.
Well, they also mentioned something. Bedolza, the commander, mentions that anybody who has come in contact with the protoculture just is never heard from again. Like they just are defeated somehow.
Very much reminds me of a game I can't remember the name of. It's one of the early like 4X games where you have 3 different factions. Sins of a Solar Empire. You played it?
I have heard about it. I think I have it in my.
One of the factions literally had a galactic empire sort of thing, but like they lost contact with their home world or something, so they sent in like all their best fleets to figure out what's happening there. Like if like a rebellion had started, and then none of the fleets are heard from again, and then they send in more and more fleets, and they just lose everything. They have no idea what's happening. It's just like a complete blackout, and the blackout expands further and further into their systems until one of the ships comes back eventually, and it's just like a blathering madman, and they can't figure out what the hell is happening until eventually, like, their furthest colony worlds just gather everything they fucking have before whatever this darkness that's swallowing their empire is, and they just book it, and they run, and they drop, like, message buoys behind them. And all the reason they know they're still being chased by whatever the fuck it is their message buoys keep going silent. So the entire empire in that game is that you have like the Terrans, you have the super advanced other race, and then you have this group. This is literally, we're gonna mine all the resources in this territory, and then we're gonna keep running. We're not here to fight you, but we will. We need your resources to keep our fleet going, because we're gonna run, because whatever's chasing us is about to get here. So, you know, that kind of concept with the protoculture there where you're saying,
yeah,
we just lose contact with whatever it is. I like that almost hoarder concept of space empire, right? I don't know what the fuck is over there. I'm terrified of it. And otherwise, I'm just going to avoid it completely.
Yeah.
All right. Any other thoughts about today's episode?
Nope. That's about it.
Okay, well, this has been Theta. That has been Lessons. This has been Stone-Faced Reactions with another episode of SDF Macross. We will catch you next time, next episode. Bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?